believed for the longest time I've been living in Singapore. Well, tonight, Get It Right is going to tell you, hey, there could be something more than that, and we are going to change your perspective about our drinking water in Singapore tonight. We'll be back. Hello everyone, my name is Chong and welcome to our special edition of Get It Right. Yes, tonight we are going to talk about something that is close to your home. Yes, your drinking water out of your tap. Yes, your kitchen tap, or your bathroom tap, any tap you can find at your home. You see, for the longest time, we believe, and it is correct to say that our drinking water supply, our PUB is fabulously, clean and safe, and most of the time we can be drinking from our tap. Right? And I've been doing so for the longest time. That's why I got number two. But there will be instances whereby you realize when you turn on your tap and you actually realize that, hey, there's something is just not so correct tonight. Maybe the smell of chlorine is especially strong, not like every other day, or even sometimes you spot some very strong and foul smell, which is not the usual case for the drinking tap or drinking water from a tap, or even sometimes maybe you realize that the color, okay, or the look of it doesn't look like normal. Usually it's transparent, usually it's crystal clear, and yet it looks very yellow or something like that. No, yep. And what do you do about it? Well, for me, most of the time, we will just let the water run until it seems that the problem is solved, and then you pretend or you assume that everything is back to normal again. Right now, I'm sure these are the things that we always do. Okay, when we face some problem, right? But the real question is this the right way to do it? And are we really using the right method to solve a problem that you think is really not such a big deal? When we talk about the smell or we talk about the look of the water, hey, whatever that goes into our body clearly requires some special attention, isn't it? Right. So tonight I have a very, very amazing friend joining me. All right, that will tell you a little bit more about your drinking water at home. All right, and it is a very, very special friend because I have many friends, but not every one of them so academically competent to the point of finishing a PhD. All right, so my friend tonight, he has a PhD, right, in organic chemistry, which is very interesting. Some of you may not even understand what is organic chemistry, which I myself also do not know. Maybe I will let him tell us more about that in a while. But tonight we have our very dear friend, Dr. Stephen Sanjaya, to join us and tell you more about your drinking water. Let's welcome Stephen. Yay!
Hey, hi. Hello, everyone.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Stephen, you want to tell our friends more about you?
Yes. Oh, hi, everyone. My name is Stephen. I have my PhD degree from NTU in of organic chemistry research. Yeah. So
what is
yes,
organic chemistry?
Yes. So to make it simple, organic chemistry is anything that is based on carbon. Like for example, right, we go to let's say we watch movie and someone kidnap chloroform. So that chloroform is also organic compound.
Wow.
So anything that's based on carbon, like even our protein or DNA in our body, also organic compound.
Yeah. Actually, human beings are also organic
material.
Yes,
You're
all right.
correct.
Which means that anything that can be broken down will be called organic.
Yes.
Anything that cannot be broken down, you put down there 200 years, it's still down there.
Yes,
It's still
inorganic.
inorganic.
Yes.
So you study
the organic one.
All right. So was it easy to study your?
Not easy,
Not
because
easy.
you still have to know a bit of inorganic also. Mix
Well,
a bit.
I don't know how many of you understand what he says. Doesn't matter, all right?
Yes.
Because well, we are just average Singaporeans, and then yeah, maybe you have a very good education also, but you know, obviously, pertaining to this organic chemistry, yes, Dr. Stephen is clearly a professional in his own right, correct or not?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, why do we want to include, why do we want to invite Stephen tonight to talk about your drinking water at home? You know, because for the longest time, especially you and me, I'm a Singaporean, okay, I'm born here, I'm raised here all my life for the last half century, all right, and then we know for one thing, okay, our tap water is fit for drinking. And even I tell you, especially when I was serving NS, the national service, all right, we every time drink from the tap directly. And even when we have to go for water parade, where to fill up our water bottles, we just simply fill from our water tap. There's no such thing as wait for your mother to cook the water for you one.
But boil first.
No boiling, direct, which is fine. You know, we have no problem with that. All right, but like I mentioned earlier, okay, this could be something that is really a privilege to Singaporeans. In fact, I would say that this is our blessing because, as you can see, Stephen is wearing a batik shirt.
Yes.
Why is he wearing a batik shirt? Because Stephen actually originally comes from Indonesia. And maybe you want to tell us some of your experience from Indonesia.
Yeah, so
about the drinking water in specific.
Correct. So as an Indonesian, when I come to Singapore in 2005, right?
Yep.
So at that time I was very amazed that I can drink water from tap water.
Amazed.
Amazed, eh?
Wow.
Because it's nothing that I've seen whole of my life.
So from your hometown, what do you do?
What I do is we need to have 2 filters from the tap water to my pot of drinking water.
Oh, yeah. So
Yes.
naturally, you know, I'm sure Singaporeans are very well traveled. Okay, despite because of the COVID situation, okay, most of you have not been traveling for a while. But if you really have the chance to travel to, you know, the less developed countries, you will realize that, you know, not all the tap, the drinking water from the tap
It's
is
drinkable.
fit for drinking
Yes,
immediately without doing anything to it.
Yes.
But Singaporeans have it too easy and too convenient.
Yes.
Pampered all our life. Then we just take and drink. Then sometimes, you know, when you travel overseas, you forgot that this is not Singapore, and you also drink from the tap. That's when you get stomach upsets and you get a lot of problems.
Yes,
so naturally, you know, it's quite amazing that what Stephen says is correct. All right, he's amazed to realize and to see that, you know, our Singapore tap water can be drinkable.
So good, eh?
So good, very good, very good. And maybe it's important to say why. Okay, why is it that the Singapore tap water is fit for drinking? It's because we have a very, very competent, very, very professional, and very, very hardworking agency called PUB. Yes, PUB. All right. Okay, what does PUB stands for? PUB is not pub, okay? PUB stands for our Public Utilities Board, which basically takes care of all the water works in Singapore. Actually, we have 4 water works in Singapore. Okay, one in Choa Chu Kang, one in Bedok. I can't remember where the other 2 are, but you can Google it, right? But you know, and then they handle all the water supply in Singapore, including the desalination plant to convert seawater into drinking water. And they also handle, you know, the recycled water called the new water. And everything, all the reservoirs are also under their charge. And so they do a wonderful job in taking care of the daily water requirement for all Singaporeans. And the best part is, not only they take care of all the water supply, they make sure that whatever water that is being treated, okay, and handled by them in their waterworks, when they come out of the PUB waterworks, right, everything is fit for drinking. And you can find all this information in the PUB website.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
Everything
is there.
all the standard is takong one.
Yes, best. Even
Okay.
below, even better than WHO standard.
Yes, even
Very good.
better than the WHO standard, which
Yes.
stands for World Health
Health
Organization. If not later, people say
don't know
who ah?
Confused also
Who is who?
Who is who? Don't
Yeah,
know,
World Health Organization.
Yes.
Yes, so we are so privileged and so blessed to have a wonderful national agency who has been handling all the water supply to the standard, even well beyond the requirements set out by the World Health Organization. And therefore, yes, very, very grateful, very grateful.
Very grateful.
Correct enough.
Yes.
Now the question is, all right, why did we ask this question tonight? Is the water coming out of the tap, out of your tap at home, is still fit for drinking water? Why like that say that? Why like that say that?
Is it true drinking water or not? Very,
how come just now we say that from the PUB water work come out, can drink, but how come go to your house cannot drink
May not
anymore?
be able to drink.
How come? You want to explain a bit?
Of course.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, right, PUB, there are only like four plants, right? And then they need to cater to the whole Singapore.
Yes.
Right? So meaning there must be a pipeline or a structure between the PUB and our houses. So meaning
correct.
what happened in between? Not sure
Exactly.
what's happening.
So what is the problem here is the real problem is not with PUB. The real problem is the delivery of the water supply to your house using pipelines that are typically buried below our
Underground.
streets and our roads. Do you
can't
ever see any big pipelines lying around? Can you imagine if there are all the pipes are being bare, shown above road, like, then we got nowhere to walk already.
True lah.
Yeah. So remember,
yeah.
So there are a lot of pipelines buried underground that will carry all the water from the PUB waterworks to your house.
Yes.
And all these pipelines are typically made of steel or made of all the metal or whatever, and all this problem when you bury underground for so many years, all right, there is a possibility of the water break, the pipeline is broken or maybe rusted and things like that. Therefore, it contains a lot of possible contamination. So you see in our background, right? You see we have what you call that? A clean pipe. You see, clean pipe is always very nice one. Correct. We also have rusted pipes. All right. Not every time you see them changing pipes, because some of these pipelines could have been buried underground for more than 20, 30 years. Occasionally, we will still see people, dig it up and then change the pipelines, or, sometimes you see the water pipe burst and suddenly along the way, a lot of flash flood.
Yes.
But more often than not, we don't see these pipelines being changed very, very frequently, because they are not meant to be changed. That's why it is buried underground, and then it's supposed to last for decades.
Yes, that's
all right. But over time, because of all the wear and tear, all right, okay, you will start to have rust, you start to have contamination and things like that, which leads to our very important point. All right, water coming out of the PUB, okay, is very clean, very high standard, even exceeding the WHO standard.
Correct.
Granted, this one no need to argue one. But once it go through all these pipelines, which have been buried underground, which has been subjected to a lot of possible contamination, then we have another problem. This problem is called second contamination.
Yes.
Right. All right. This is really inevitable one. Okay. You cannot blame anybody. You cannot blame anybody, because pipeline is so big, very difficult to maintain. Very difficult to maintain. All right. So these are the reason. Okay. This is one of the reason why we ask this question: how come when the water supply reach your house, okay, it may not be as good as the moment it came out of the PUB waterworks.
Very interesting. Yes.
Yeah. Is there any other possible problems? Any possible cause of second contamination?
Yes.
Any possible ones?
So of course, when I'm very amazed with this, I went to do a bit of research.
Yeah.
Right. So other
Wait,
than
you want to tell me your professional input already, which is why this is so important. Okay, which I want to save it for the next point. Okay, because there are also other source of possible second contamination. For example, water tank.
Oh, okay.
Water tank in your flat, water tank in your condominium, water tank in your office building. All right, because the water all come, cannot straight away go into the tap one.
Yeah,
they must be all stored in our water tank. So some of the tanks most of the tanks are usually at the top of the building.
Correct.
Again, which is something
Also
that we don't see
Yeah.
day to base.
Yeah.
You don't climb out and check your water tank, correct? Yeah, but of course we also know that from the news, something very, very out of our ordinary also happened in the water tanks.
Yes.
Yeah, in the past few years.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody went there to swim and forget to come out. For example. Okay, and then also, because of maintenance, the question is that all these water tanks are also subject to possible contamination.
Yes, and then also are not changed for maybe like 10 decades or so.
Yeah. So you see, these are also the second possible contamination. And of course, some people will say that, hey, I renovated my house lately. Okay, I changed all the pipe already. No problem. Yeah, but when did you renovate? If you have stayed your house for more than 5 years, more than 10 years, more than 20 years, all right, you will surely realize that the pipes inside your house also will have rusted and also have a lot of problems.
Correct.
So therefore, then brings us back to our first point. Even your house pipe also never any old house suka change from time to time. Then how can you expect our government to change our underground pipe every now and then? Correct or not? So because of all these possibilities, the second contamination is inevitable, which leads to why we want to talk about this get it right topic, which is your tap drinking water really drinkable? All right. We want to stress again and again, whatever the water that come out of the PUB waterworks is top-notch one.
Yes.
Because QC, everything, they process, they treat the water according to the requirement that they set. And this standard that they set is even higher than our WHO standard.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because of this delivery of the supply of water to your house, there are so many problems which we just described. Okay, the underground pipe, the water tanks, or even your household pipes. Okay, you see, then this second contamination is really inevitable.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, which is why we want to do this get it right tonight. Yes. Okay, to highlight to you. Yes, really think carefully. Think carefully. Is your drinking water from your tap really drinkable? Because like what we explained, or rather as what I was sharing with you just now, right? There are times that you realize that hey, the water come out. It's different color, correct or not?
Yes.
It look yellowish, it look rusted, things like that.
Smell a bit.
Then sometimes got smell. And then even there would be times where how come today the chlorine smell is so much stronger than before.
Yes.
So you see, these are all the signs of contamination.
Yes.
But most people take it for granted.
Yeah, maybe good.
And then also find it, this is a big serious problem. I don't know how to solve it. So what I do, I just let it run and run and run. And then once it looks a bit better, then I say, okay lah, I drink now. But really, the problem may not have gone away. This is the problem. And of course, okay, on a day-to-day basis, all of us have one way or two that we handle our drinking water. Some people say, I don't drink directly from the tap one. Okay, I don't. Okay, I know it's not totally clean.
Yes.
So what I do, I boil water.
Yeah,
honestly, I want to tell everyone out there, Hey, not only you boil water, even my grandmother also boil water.
Yes.
Okay, meaning boiling water has been around for generations.
Many years already.
Even if we watch a lot of those drama, period drama, the kung fu drama,
correct.
okay, even those 大侠, they go and they are injured and then they along the river, right? Sometimes they also remember to boil water before
first,
they drink.
Yes.
But the question is also, can boiling really solve all the problems that we just described?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Can all this really solve this problem? This is another question. So therefore, when we talk about the second contamination, which inevitably affect the quality of water coming from the waterworks reaching our house, all right? And if we are only using a boiling method to solve our problem, is it really solving our problem? Hey, maybe you have some comments. Okay, anyway, if you just tune in, my name is Ho Chong.
My name is Stephen.
No, his name is Dr. Stephen Sanjaya. And he has a PhD in organic chemistry, all right? Yes. Meaning someone who really knows how to handle all the chemical compounds. Yeah. Be more confident. All right, okay. Yes. And tonight, we want to talk about this topic that maybe a lot of people may not have paid attention, and that's why we want to get it right. All right. So we are raising this very, very innocent question. Is your drinking water from the tap really drinkable? Yes. Right? Okay, so if you like what you have been hearing from us so far, remember to support us and then like our live streaming and remember to share this live streaming. Okay?
Comment also?
Yep. Yeah, obviously we welcome your comments. Okay, maybe you think that we are bullshitting all the way. Yeah. Maybe you think that we are talking nonsense. Yes, let us know your comments so that I can check also and how we can respond to you according. Yeah. But if you like what we've been saying so far, hey, drop us some comments, some words of encouragement at the same time, isn't it?
Yes, please do so.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we can chat with you and we can answer your questions or we can discuss, any myths that comes to your mind. Yep. So we can share with everyone around us.
Yeah. So we talk about how excellent work our national agency called the Public Utility Board has been doing for all our water supply. Yep. And the standards of water is so higher than the WHO standard.
Yes, much higher.
Amazing, no?
Amazing.
Yeah, but yet we need to raise this innocent question is, how is it that when this high quality water, okay, it reach your house, okay, it actually has some contamination situation like what we described to you just now. Correct, maybe the water is not so clear. Maybe the smell is suddenly so strong, or maybe the smell also very foul. Wow, then you also realize this is not ordinary. Yes. All right, and then of course we also talk about a lot of people using the boiling water method to solve their problem. Say that, hey, I don't drink from the tap one.
No, I boil first.
Yeah, but still, given the kind of contamination that we are describing to you, can boiling really solve all this problem?
Yeah, so that's the very basic question, right?
Which is why, why we have Stephen, okay, a PhD in the organic chemical, all right?
Yes.
All right, to help us understand. Because just now we talk about all those, what you call that, the secondary contamination, like the rusted pipes, like the water tank rusted, or even what else?
House pipe.
Your house pipe and things like that. Tap, even a tap. Oh my God.
Itself, yeah.
Did you change your tap lately? No?
Yes.
Oh, can you imagine your tap 20 years never changed? Walao eh. Yeah, so you see, these are all physical contamination. All right, but we also want to highlight, okay, this particular contamination also again is inevitable, which is also in our water. Yeah. All right, which is totally require the expertise of Dr. Stephen Sanjaya to talk about, which is, the organic and the inorganic chemical compounds found in our water supply, either naturally or artificially.
Correct.
So we want to show you this chart, okay, which is provided by our PUB. All right. So again, just now we talked about how good the standard of our water supply, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you see from our chart, right? They have our standard. They also have PUB standard. They move a bit. Maybe we move out a bit.
Yep.
You see, they have our standard. They have PUB standards and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you will also realize that all the standards of PUB are super one. They are very much better than the WHO standard. And as you can see, all right, a lot of parameters on my right hand side, right? You see, there are so many chemical compounds found in our water supply. All right, either organically or inorganically, or either naturally or artificially. Okay,
yeah.
So that's why we have our Dr. Stephen to explain to us. Okay, what are some of these artificial compounds and what are some of these natural compounds? Let's start with natural compounds, Ken.
Yeah.
Naturally, the water will contain some kind of naturally formed compounds.
Yeah.
No matter what you drink water, you should get one.
Correct.
Yeah, explain.
So before we even answer the question, right, whether the boiling, whether the solution that we have can solve the problem, we must know about the problem first, right? So what is the problematic contaminants that we have in our water, right? So the first thing, when we think about drinking water, we will think about mineral water. So the first thing that comes to our mind is the minerals. The minerals are usually metal ions.
Yes.
But then we will hear about metal, you will feel a bit, metal, got metal in our water. So actually, metal ions, the ions are actually very important.
Okay, stop. You start to confuse me already. Because you obviously you are a Dr. Sanjaya.
Yeah.
I'm a normal people called Ho Chong, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What he's saying that whether you like it or not, okay, any kind of water will contain some kind of naturally formed compounds.
Yes.
And some of these are like what he say, metal,
ions.
But really these metal ions are what we all know as minerals.
Correct. Yes.
That's why mineral water, understand now?
Yeah.
Okay, which means that what? These minerals are naturally found in the water.
Yes, and it's beneficial for us also.
Wow, yes. It's
so
beneficial for the health
also.
being of our body.
Correct.
Now. That's why you see it's so obvious when you go to 7-Eleven or you go to any convenience store when you buy bottled water. Correct or not? You know there's a brand called Evian.
Yes.
It's called naturally mountain mineral water. Expensive or not? Expensive. Compared to you buy all those pure water. Pure water means zero minerals inside one.
Correct.
It's so much cheaper.
Correct.
So mineral water versus no mineral water, pure water. Why mineral water more expensive? Because it contains minerals
that is beneficial for our body.
That is beneficial for our bodies. And they are naturally found in the water.
Correct. But we need to know also that there are also a lot of different metal ions. So let's say
what lah?
What is
say lah.
metal ion? What?
No, look at me. Look at the screen and tell them.
maybe I ask you first. Yeah, what can you think of?
I don't know. Ions? Okay. As far as I know, some of those naturally found compounds in the water which are good for our body. For example, magnesium.
Yes, correct.
For example, calcium.
Yes.
For example,
for our bone.
Potassium.
Yes.
For example, sodium.
Yes, very good.
Okay. The rest of the chemical compound, I pass back to my chemistry teacher already.
Very good, because you only need to know these four. Easy, right? Yeah, so we have thought about this metal ions so many times.
So got magnesium, got calcium, got sodium, got potassium. So these
really
are the four essential, some of the four very important minerals in the water that's actually we need one.
Correct.
So maybe at this point, we also want to remind you, okay, next time when you go and buy bottled water from the convenience store, must check whether got minerals or not.
Yes.
Because
correct.
these are important, even those small traces,
Yes.
not a lot, but still important.
Important.
That's
correct.
why, for example, I give you an example. For example, you exercise, then suddenly cramp. Then
Yeah
you
lah.
drink what? You drink Gatorade. You drink
100 plus.
Pocari.
Pocari.
You drink
100 plus.
100 plus. What is all this? They call it sports isotonic drink.
Yes.
But actually, when you look at the content, it contains high level of sodium.
Yeah.
So you see, when you drink already, right, your body got the sodium, right? Okay,
Yeah.
replenish. Okay,
Feel
then your
energized.
cramp come gone.
Yeah, lor.
Yeah,
Amazing, right?
amazing,
Like
amazing.
magic like that.
Magic. Yes. So your drinking water must contain minerals.
Correct.
So mineral water has its purpose one. Okay, you don't have minerals in the water. Maybe, yes, this is also one of the key points we want to talk about getting it right.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, drink the water right.
Yes.
Drink the right water.
Correct.
So
True water.
just drink mineral water.
Yes.
Never drink pure water,
not
which
good.
0.00000.
Yes.
Correct or not?
Yes.
And
correct.
maybe at this point, some people say that because I drink pure water, 0.000 is 0 calories, right? Yeah, I tell you, minerals in the water also 0
Also 0
calories.
calories.
Huh?
Yeah. Correct.
Wake up lah, okay?
Must know what is right.
Must know what's right. And honestly, I think if I buy a Evian mineral water for let's say $2,
Wow.
but actually those pure water are also not cheap leh.
True.
Not cheap leh.
Not
So
cheap
why
also.
you waste money to buy? If
Yeah.
you are drinking mineral water, I tell you rather go and drink from tap water.
Yeah.
Right? At least it's still got
At least
mineral.
yeah, got the mineral.
Yeah, I mean, if we talk like that, go on and on, now we forget our topic, right?
Yeah, lor.
Is the drinking water from the tap really drinkable?
Yes. So,
All right. So we talk about second contamination from the tap, from the pipe, from the water tank, from your tap, your own tap, or even from the household piping and things like that. We now are talking about the chemical compounds that is found in the water, either naturally or artificially. And
Correct.
this actually also cause second contamination, which actually affect the quality of the water coming out from our PUB water works.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, we want to say again and again, the PUB water works quality standard,
Very
high
high.
one.
Very
Okay, better than WHO.
Yes.
But once you reach your house, because of second contamination, not so cool anymore. All right, not so great anymore. All right, so the second contamination, such as the chemical compound, actually cause this problem. So we talk about the chemical compound, which is the organic ones, and the natural one.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is actually good for the body.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So there are some which is not so organic.
Yeah, it's inorganic.
Yeah,
it's not good
and
for
it
our
is
health.
not actually natural.
Yes.
It's actually artificial.
Yes.
Added in the water.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and therefore it actually creates some problem for the quality of the problem.
Yes.
Before Stephen talk about it, we also want to be fair. Not all the inorganic, artificial chemical compound that's added inside the water
is not good lah.
is no good. For example, one very good one is called fluoride.
Yes, fluoride.
Tell people more about fluoride, Ken.
Fluoride, it has been just for the past 40 years that is recognized globally that they have to
don't keep looking at me. I'm very scared.
Ion.
Can you look at the camera? Kick the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
look at the
they will
camera.
add the fluoride ion if on drinking water because it is not naturally occurring. Okay, so it's actually added by any of the water national agency in the whole world. Okay, so of course our Singapore PUB also recognize this, and we have this fluoride ion in water.
So why they want to add fluoride in our water? Why?
So
Why they nothing better to do want to add fluoride for what?
Yeah, so the purpose of this is to prevent the decaying of our tooth.
Because a lot of viewers, you may have heard fluoride. You may say, hey, somehow I hear somewhere before, oh yeah, the orang Kigo Congo. Okay, the Colgate advertisement, you may have heard about it. They contain fluoride. So fluoride is good for our teeth, good for our gums, because This is very important, all right?
Yeah,
okay. So every day as we drink our water, actually there's this thing called fluoride.
Alright, yeah.
That's
Since we drink
supposed
water
to-
every day, we
yeah,
need water.
yeah, help us.
So it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, this is so-called contaminant. It is actually good,
Yes.
but it is artificially added.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
But
Yes.
so what is there anything that is artificially added in our water supply, but not so good?
Okay, so there actually are two combinations. So the first one that they add first usually is the chlorine, right? So this explains why when sometimes you run your tap water, then you smell, that particular smell to swimming pool. In a swimming pool, there's a chlorine.
Stephen just brought up something very interesting. He
Yes.
says swimming pool. I know some of you may not have been to the swimming pool lately for a long time, okay?
Yeah.
Don't worry, we are going to open up more already.
Yes.
Yeah,
Soon,
go
soon.
swimming, okay, all right. And every time you go to the swimming pool, right, wow, you smell this
Particular
very, very pungent, very, very strong smell.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Some people actually like it because they say they smell it, they get high.
Oh.
Okay, this is chlorine.
Yes.
All right, and then where else can you find the smell of chlorine? When your mother wash clothes.
Yes.
When the mother wash clothes, right, you right, come the mother's wash clothes, the smell also got the
Similar,
same as the swimming pool because your mother could have added chlorine.
Yes, like bleach.
Okay, because bleach is chlorine.
Correct, it is chlorine.
All right.
Yeah.
So wow, very interesting, right? Okay, how is it that the bleach that is used for washing clothes is added into swimming pool and also added into our drinking water?
Yeah, right. So it's
How come? How come?
questionable.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
So of course,
Because I also hear a lot of people want to commit suicide. They drink bleach and die.
correct. Yeah, lor. Then meaning very helpful to our body. But then why still added into the water?
This is confusing, right? I don't know
confusing,
whether you know or not. You know or not. How is it that the same bleach that is used to do your laundry, all right, and if you drink it in excessive amount, can actually kill you, all right, and then also found in swimming pool and also found in our drinking water.
Yeah.
Why? Do you all know why? Make a guess, eh? Can let us know let us know whether you know or not.
Yeah.
Because this is exactly the purpose of why we are doing this live streaming called Get It Right. All right,
Yes.
okay. Why is it that the same bleach that you use for your laundry, all right,
Yeah.
you can find it in the swimming pool and even in your drinking water.
Yeah.
All right. And like we said already, okay, the real question we are doing tonight is the drinking water from your tap really drinkable?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is why we want to bring across this perspective, and so that everybody realize this, and maybe you need to do something. And tonight we invite Dr. Stephen Sanjaya, to talk about it.
Yes.
All right. So as we mentioned, you keep seeing our background. I got this PUB standard. We want to stress that the PUB standard is super high one.
Yes.
All the water that
One of
is
the
handled
best.
by our PUB waterworks is of top-notch quality. Okay, when they come out of the waterworks, all the standards are higher than the WHO.
Yeah.
Okay, and but we are raising this question because we realize that as the water is being supplied from the water tank and then delivered to your house, okay, after it go past the underground pipes, going past the water tank, okay, and then go through the household pipes, and then go through your tap, which hardly change one.
Yes.
Okay, then the quality come out not so good.
Yeah.
And then especially you also have all this inorganic compound contaminant that was actually added in the water.
Correct.
All right. So I don't know whether you guys have already put in your answers about how come the chlorine, also aka bleach, is found in our drinking water. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
How? If you don't, maybe you should tell them the answer now.
Okay,
Keep it simple. Our viewers don't understand your technical terms.
Okay, can. So I'll make it very, very simple. Okay. So one of the factors that's inevitable in our water will be microorganisms, right? Like bacteria or like virus. So chlorine or bleach, right, is oxidizing agent which can kill the bacteria and virus very efficiently. So there are a lot of different oxidants,
Oh.
but the most effective one is chlorine.
Okay. So you are saying that
Mm.
some of the possible harm that comes from the water is that the
Yes.
water itself will contain microorganisms.
Yes.
Okay, some of this, you know what is microorganism? As the word suggests, micro. Micro means cannot see one.
Yeah, very small.
Can you imagine a mouse come out of your pipe? No way, right? That's not micro already.
Yeah, that's not micro already.
Yeah, okay. Microorganism means very small living organism found in the water. So small until our eyes cannot see one. All right, and this microorganism could be bacteria.
Yes.
This organism could be viruses.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you may already hear at some places they claim that viruses like SARS, viruses like COVID-19 actually could be waterborne.
Yeah, possible.
They say possible. They say, for example, the toilet bowl got fine traces. Things like that. And then the water pipe, they also found got traces.
Correct.
All right. So you get an idea. So they are living microorganisms naturally found also in our water supply. All right. And so therefore, to lower, to make sure that this microorganism cannot be existing in abundance in our water. That's why they added this thing called chlorine.
Yes.
All right, because chlorine is like poison that can kill them.
It's a bioweapon in World War II.
Oh, I say again?
It's a bioweapon in World War II.
Oh, you mean chlorine was a bioweapon in World War II?
In the World War, it's banned. Cannot use chlorine.
Okay. You want to tell us which country use it? Never mind, forget it. No. Let's not raise a world.
We cannot raise things.
World War III, okay? You know, I know can already, okay? Yeah. So So chlorine is actually added in our water. That's why you find chlorine smell in your water tap.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And then of course, then we realize that this is again what we said earlier, right? This contamination is inevitable. Because if they don't put chlorine in our water, you have living microorganisms.
Yes, a lot of that, yes.
Yeah.
But
if you put there, then you also realize that
it may harm us also.
You'll harm us because this is not supposed to be drinkable one.
Correct.
So therefore, we want to ask this very important question based on these standards.
Yes.
All right. Obviously, PUB we have done a very good job to measure our water supply daily to make sure that this chlorine amount is not too high to the effect of killing us, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. But of course, which means that under this PUB standards, which is higher than the WHO standard, or even if they are chlorine that are found in our water supply, they should be well within the safety limits.
Correct.
Right.
It must be very low. It's better below the threshold.
So if you look at the charts publicized by PUB, you'll realize that all these are inorganic contaminants or inorganic chemical compounds. All right, are they artificial or artificial?
Yeah.
All right, they should be well within safety limits.
Correct.
Okay, so we go ask another question: is safety limits really safe?
Safe? Yeah.
Is safety limit really safe?
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to explain? So you don't look at me and ask me. I ask you. You don't ask me.
Yes. So even though it's of a certain safety limit, but some of the chemical compounds or some of the inorganic contaminants is best not present right in our drinking water. So for example, if we look at our infrastructure nowadays, we have factories, industries around, right? We may have some of the even like chromium or lead or all these come into the water as secondary contaminant, right? So all these chemicals, of course, safety limits below the threshold, can drink. But you must understand that we will drink this water over the years.
Yeah.
Over
every day we should be drinking about
2,000
liters of 2,000 cc of water.
Correct.
2 liters of water, 2,000 cc. Every day you drink.
Correct.
So even though it's within safety limits, small traces, okay, over
Over
time, it may not
will
be
accumulate one.
safe
It will not be
anymore.
safe anymore.
How come you keep
Correct.
saying accumulate? Why you say accumulate?
Okay, so accumulate, of course, we think of solid, right? So most of some of these ions, if we keep drinking, our body system actually has a filter also called kidney, right? So got filtration also in that sense. So some of the ions cannot pass through, or maybe cannot dissolve anymore. Then over the years, because we keep drinking the same water, it will then become solid residue.
So, it meaning that because this, even if it's small traces, is
Correct.
slowly being
Slowly
accumulated
building up.
by our body,
Correct.
and then it's simply because our body cannot get rid of it.
Yes.
It will
cannot be
just keep
flushed out,
storing
just
up,
keep
storing up,
up.
storing up. And then
Yeah.
I also hear Dr. Stephen talk about lead just now. He said, oh, how come lead also get into the water? Because, the pipes also contain lead.
Yeah.
So these are all heavy metal compounds, okay? And
very
then
toxic.
and very toxic, our body cannot get rid of it. And
Cannot get rid
over
of
years, as we drink more and more and more, and then lately, also people found a lot of other things. For example, like pesticide,
pesticides,
insecticide,
or even
in our water supply.
Even microplastic also.
Microplastic,
Yes,
and also they found traces of drugs.
Yes, some leakage lah.
Leakage.
This inevitable one.
Yeah, so over time, what it means is that the complexity of water supply, okay, is becoming more and more difficult to handle because of our environment pollution.
Yes.
I always ask this question: you think that the environment is more polluted now, or 20 years ago, or 40 years ago?
Yeah.
So as we continue to live on, I think the pipes will only get more and more polluted.
Yes.
The environment will only get more and more polluted. So, and we are facing with all these so-called traces of inorganic compound that is in the water.
Yes.
And if we don't handle it, all right,
it
naturally, it will be accumulating in our body over time. And even though you are drinking very, very low traces, from time to time, in short, it won't kill you immediately.
Yes.
It will kill you finally.
That's the scary thing.
Actually, I also, when I was talking to Stephen about this inorganic compound, I also realized from, the PUB charts, like you see behind me now, okay, there is this particular chemical compound called cyanide. Yes. And it's actually found in our water supply in Singapore, But again, based on PUB standard, right, it is well within safety limits. Very low. But last time, I read a lot of the Chinese novels, the martial arts, the wuxia martial arts one. All right, okay, you will realize that cyanide in Chinese is called pi shuang, which is some kind of drug that they use to kill people.
It's poison.
So this is quite amazing. And I said, you mean I'm drinking cyanide every day in my drinking water from the tap? Yeah, that is it. But low traces. Don't worry. Okay, but we are saying this to you. All this inorganic compound, if you do not handle it before it goes into our body, no matter how small traces, the point is that it cannot be getting out of our body. It go in but never come out. And therefore, over time, it will accumulate to a point whereby it will finally hurt you.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So
right.
That's the bottom line here that we are.
So can we ask the same question again?
Yeah.
Can you use boiling to solve this problem?
Answer is half lah.
Answer. Don't look at me. No, our viewers certainly want to know why, because probably most of us use boiling as a one way. Correct.
So why I say half, right, is because boiling, with the heat energy that we have, right, it will kill the microorganisms. But even so, because of a lot of chemicals that we actually artificially made, right, some of the microorganisms already also resistant to high temperature. So maybe we can only remove or kill like 80 to 90%.
So I think the point here is that when we talk about boiling water, most people will boil up to 100 degrees Celsius.
Correct.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very simple. Okay.
Yeah.
Our boiling at our house, at home, household, no matter how you boil, is 100
It's only 100 degrees Celsius.
degrees Celsius.
Yes.
Unless you use very special industrialized,
Very,
then you can maybe go
go out a bit
higher.
higher
But
lah.
in any old how, you all know one thing: water once reach 100 degrees Celsius, it becomes steam.
Yes, it cannot.
Yeah,
It
but
cannot
you
be
boil any longer, right?
Yeah.
Your
No.
water all gone.
Yeah, we all know water already.
Which means that no matter how you do it, right? Because based on what Dr. Stephen is saying, all right, some those living microorganisms,
Yes.
if you boil, right?
Yeah.
Okay, some actually can survive beyond 100 degrees
yeah.
Celsius.
Correct.
And because the fact that at home we boil, right? All right, can only reach 100 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
Because beyond that, everything becomes steam.
Yeah.
So
Then no water drink.
yeah, so means that whatever that's left behind, even immediately you boil to 100 degrees Celsius, you close the fire, right? You drink, right? Some of the microorganisms
May
could be still
there.
not dead.
Not dead. Correct.
Yeah, so you still be drink it.
Yes.
Okay. And
Second-
therefore, what about the inorganic contaminants? For
Correct.
example, we talk about lead,
Yeah.
we talk
so
about
second problem here.
cyanide, we talk about chlorine.
Chlorine. Yeah. So
Yes.
the second problem here is, of course, some of the how to say, the solution that they put out online is, we can leave the tap water first before boiling. So this is another thing. So that the chlorine become if you evaporate and leave the water first, or some of the ions we then, because over time become precipitate, and then we just boil the water that we have above it. But again, this is still not the solution. Why? Because when you boil the water, right? Because some of the water will leave, will evaporate, right? And it makes the concentration, it makes the harmful, the safety limits of the metal ions, okay, becomes harmful, right? So the reason why the metal ions that we have described is not harmful because it's of a very, very low concentration, right? That means a very small amount in very large amount of water. But since we boil the water, so now we have less water, and these ions still inside the water. So it actually make the safety limit concentration is overshot. It may be
Higher than normal.
Higher than normal, correct. So meaning we don't even solve half the problem.
Okay, so what he's saying that regarding those heavy metal, inorganic chemical compound like
Correct.
lead, all this boiling cannot get out
Not
one.
get everyone. Yeah.
Why don't you try take one big stone, put inside your pot,
try
and
to
you
boil
boil.
it.
You
Yeah.
boil see how long the stone
Also
disappear.
never-
it won't disappear, right?
disappear.
Yeah. So
Ah.
what you're saying that all this heavy chemical
Cannot
compound,
be removed.
they cannot be removed by
Correct.
boiling one. Okay.
Yes.
Like the
The
lead,
lead, chromium, iron.
iron, yeah,
correct.
and then it just over time you actually be drinking
We're
more,
drinking more and more of it.
exceeding the safety
Exceeding the
limit.
safety limits. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the boiling water.
Okay, and then this chlorine is also so. Okay,
Correct.
anyway, I think you're very, very powerful, knowledgeable, and very informative.
Hopefully everyone can understand.
Yeah, but a bit technical already.
Yeah, a bit. But hopefully it's
But
easy to understand.
we just want to get the idea, okay? Really, okay, the drinking water from our tap may not really be as safe and fit for drinking as what you think.
Yes.
All right. At the very best, I think the bottom line is if you are seeking to have the best quality of water for your family and for yourself, hey, maybe you need to understand that boiling is not just good enough.
Yes.
In fact,
that's not good.
based on our research, we also realize that over time, okay, as our technology get better and better and better, okay, there are better ways that we can use, okay, at home to solve all this second contamination problem.
Yes.
All right, and then
Correct.
we want to share with you this first solution that you may want to seek out, which is number one is called the filtration.
Yes. Filtration method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and
So-
especially when you talk about filtration, you should always look for anything that is carbon-based type.
Yeah. Correct.
All right.
There are so many filtration method out
Yep.
there, but one of the best is the activated carbon filtration method.
Activated carbon
Activated
filtration.
carbon filtration.
Yes.
Correct.
Why? Like?
So activated carbon is how to say it is very sophisticated. Yeah, it is able to remove most of the secondary contaminants that we have.
Yes.
So
Especially
we can think,
chlorine.
especially chlorine. Yeah.
Yes.
So we can analogy is like, let's say a corn kernel, right, become a popcorn. So when carbon atom initially before activated, it's like the corn kernel. If it's activated, I'm going to skip all the process. Okay.
Anyway,
become popcorn. That
yes.
one popcorn, meaning you can see that the volume increases, right? The surface area increase. But then, what will then this help to remove? So with that increased volume, now it has cracks in between that now it can trap all those ions. Now, because these ions are soluble in water, we cannot remove it through boiling, right? So even with filtration, let's say our very traditional one with the rocks and all that one, the ions still can pass through all these very, very big size filter. So with the activated carbon, without these smaller micro size cracks, that it can actually prevent most of these contaminant ions from getting into our water.
Okay, I don't know whether you understand now.
Okay.
But as far as what he's trying to say, the very thing is that you can try filtration method.
Yes.
And if you ever get a filter, always use
the
activated carbon method.
Yes, that will be
because that will be able to handle, a lot of this chemical compound, whether organic or inorganic. Correct.
Yes.
That's important. Don't get any else kind of filtration.
Any other filter is not that good.
It's not effective at all. Because that is why we have Dr. Saffron Sanjaya, who has a PhD in organic chemistry. Then you cannot fight science one.
Yes.
This is basically a science problem.
Yeah.
Science problem must use scientific method to solve.
Yes.
So when he says that if you want to use a filtration method to solve all these inorganic and organic compound in our water supply, especially handling chlorine, use activated carbon.
Yeah.
Right.
Best.
Okay. What about other kind of handling method? For example, you talk about boiling can't solve other problems. Can't really kill the micro living organism.
Correct. So because some of the microorganisms may survive at higher temperature,
Mhm.
right? So we need a higher amount of energy to kill it. So one of the best that we know is from the sun.
Is
UV
it?
light.
UV light.
UV
Cool.
light. Yes.
Oh yeah, no wonder. I remember when I was younger, I go to the dentist. I always remember the BC, the nurse, all right, taking all the tools out of a container. They use the water to steam and then to kill the bacteria.
Correct.
But lately you realize that this kind of thing don't work anymore.
Yes.
Now you see they take out from this box of blue light,
Yes.
which is the UV light.
UV light, yeah.
So UV light is more powerful.
Of course.
All right, and it's obviously more effective.
More effective, correct. Yes. So the comparison, it can even kill the bacteria and virus up to 99.9%. Much better than boiling.
Yeah, so like what we mentioned just now, all right, boiling can only reach 100 degrees Celsius.
Correct.
Whereas a lot of the living microorganisms can survive beyond 100 degrees Celsius. So UV light can go higher and kill them.
Correct.
Very convenient and help.
Yes.
So next time, don't anyhow go near a UV light.
Not good.
Okay, all right. Okay, I hope we are able to put a lot of perspective right tonight with this edition of Get It Right. All right, like we are saying, we are not asking you to make complaints. We are not asking you to stop drinking tap water from tomorrow. But at least you realize one thing. Okay, thank God we have a very powerful agency called PUB that provide very good supply of water out of their waterworks.
Correct.
Unfortunately, as what we explained, all right, given the complexity of the delivery method using our underground pipelines, our water tanks, our pipes, and our taps and all these, right? Plus, and all those necessity to actually put in chlorine to help to kill microorganisms. All right, we realize that the water coming out of the tap may not be as drinkable as you think. So we want to get it right for you. All right. So how to get it right? All right. Seek better treatment method for the water before you drink it.
Correct.
All right. So all the best to you. Okay. And then of course, drink more water. Like what they say. Okay. 女人是水做的. Women are made of water. But I always think that 男的 is also made of water.
Same.
All right, so we will want to drink water again, and again. All right,
Yes.
continue to support the
Continue.
Singapore water, but
yes, remember to drink
okay,
water.
really,
2 liters a
okay,
day.
use the right method to solve it. Okay, if you like what we have been sharing, okay, thank you for supporting us. Okay, remember to like our live streaming and share with your friends so that we can spread this information. And
Post it
of
off in the
course,
comments.
you think that we've been talking nonsense? Okay, we also welcome your
Yes,
comments
let's
at the
discuss in
same time. We can
comments.
interact and then
Yes.
we can discuss about it.
Yep.
All right, so look out for our next episode of Get It Right. My name is Ho Chong.
My name is Dr. Stephen.
Yes, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Good
so much.
night.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.